Hi everyone, my name's Ken and I'm a careers advisor here at JEDTV. So I was handing out some leaflets at the start, so anyone that hasn't got one, I'll give you one after this chat. But basically everything that I'm going to talk about tonight is within those booklets, so don't worry. Okay. So one part of my work is to work one-to-one with pupils from S4 right up to S6. And that work involves making a plan for when you're leaving school. Now there's lots of options when it comes to leaving school, so obviously you're here tonight to talk about kind of HE options, and I'm going to cover alternatives to higher education and also further education as well, because we're all different, we all learn differently, and sometimes full-time education just isn't there for us, and so looking at alternatives is something that I can do with a lot of pupils, just so that they make the right decision. You can access this on the SQA website. What I wanted to do is just show you a little bit of context as to what I'm talking about in terms of qualifications. So, down your right-hand side is the levels from 12 down to 1, okay? And then along the top is the type of qualifications. So in school, you'll be used to hearing Nat 4s, Nat 5s, higher qualifications. So your Nat 4 is the equivalent of a SCQF level 4, Nat 5, level 5. Your higher is an SCQF level 6, advanced higher is a level 7. Okay? So if we were looking at, for example, the Nat 5 level at level 5, and go right along to the end of the table, that is the equivalent of a modern apprenticeship. Okay? So apprenticeships is one of the things that I'm going to be discussing today, and a modern apprenticeship is an option for when school. Okay, so when you're looking at modern apprenticeships, foundation apprenticeships, graduate apprenticeships, so there are 3 different types of apprenticeships available, you can have a look at the SQA website and you can see what level they would be starting at. So one thing to know, which I will talk about later, is so your modern apprenticeship starts at SCQF level 5, so that 5 level, goes up to advanced higher. Your foundation apprenticeship, which is something you do in school, that's a level 6, so the equivalent of a higher. And then if you are wanting to do a graduate apprenticeship, which is the equivalent of doing a degree, that's at level 10 and goes up to level 11, which is a master's degree. So just so you can see the context there with the different qualifications. So the first thing that I'm going to discuss is foundation apprenticeships. Now, this isn't a post-school option, this is something that pupils can do in school. It's the equivalent of a higher, and I thought it'd be quite important just to discuss it because you will see it on their subject choice forms, so it's something that you need to know about. So foundation apprenticeships are great. They are fairly new, okay? They're only offered in certain areas. Generally, they're a 2-year course. However, if you're in S5 currently and going into S6 next year, you can do a 1-year foundation apprenticeship. The great thing about these are you get all the skills, you develop loads of skills and experience needed for one type of vocation. So for example, engineering, health and social science. They're offered in subjects that aren't necessarily offered in school. You go to a training provider, so Borders College is a training provider for JED. And they're covered over 2 years, so you get 1 higher for it. There's no exams, which is great, so it's continuous assessment throughout the time that they're on the foundation apprenticeship. And at the end they get a higher pass, and each university and college in Scotland accepts that as a higher. So depending on what courses, if your child is looking to go into college or university, you can check with the university as to what grade that would be. But some universities will say that if you were, say, doing civil engineering foundation apprenticeship and you went to do a civil engineering degree, it would count as an A. But if it was unrelated, it might count as a B. But each university would state what they would give for that foundation apprenticeship. But the great thing about it is there is no exam at the end, so it is a continuous assessment. And the second year is primarily work experience. So a lot of young people will leave school and not have any work experience, or very little, whereas with a foundation apprenticeship, they've got that experience, and it tends to be with a really, really good employer, so well known within the industry. So we're really lucky with BGH just around the corner. So any of the health and social care ones normally will have a placement within the BGH, and that will last for a year. So it's timetabled into their timetable for the year, just counts as a subject. but it gives them that really consistent work experience. We've also had like Barclays Banking for like the accounting level finance. So there are lots of different benefits to doing a foundation apprenticeship, but it really depends on the individual whether they want to do one hire over the 2 years or whether they just want to do it over 1 year. But again, if that was something that they were interested in, they could come and speak to me and I can go over the options for them. And as parents or carers, you could also get in contact with me if you'd like to have a further discussion on it. These are the ones that are currently available to pupils at JED. So these are the ones that Borders College offers. There currently are 5. Now these do change sometimes year on year depending on demand, so it might be different next year, but it will be quite similar. So these are the ones that are on offer this year. They have also introduced, and I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but they have also introduced levels 4 and 5, so national 4 and 5 level foundation apprenticeships too in these 3 areas. So just to be aware of that if you've got any pupils maybe in younger years who are going to be looking towards these subjects, or if you yourself are thinking, oh, I would like to do hospitality, or if you want to be a mechanic, for example, then the alternative one would be definitely relevant. Okay, so yeah, if you're interested in that, do come and see me and I can have a chat with you. So now I'm going to move on to post-school options, which is what you're all here for today. So modern apprenticeships are your alternative to college. Okay, so it might be that your young person is thinking, you know, I do want to learn more and I do want to gain more qualifications, but I just don't want to go and continue with full-time study. And that's where an apprenticeship can be a really good option. So as I said previously, these go up to advanced higher level. The great thing about an apprenticeship is you've got that job. So you're paid, you've got the job, and you get qualified at the same time. So you apply for the job like you would a normal vacancy. You would be in work 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time you would be at college. So if it's like a small local employer, you'd likely be at Borders College. So a lot of like the garages, for example, locally, hair salons, beauticians, who offer apprenticeships, you would then go to college at Borders College to do the training part of it 20% of the time. If you're working for a larger firm, so for example, if you worked for like Land Rover or somewhere like that, they have their own training centres, so it does depend on the company, but 80% of the time you're in work, 20% of the time you're in studying. But it's a really good way if you're a practical learner to get qualified without having to study full time. It lasts the same amount of time as if you were studying full time as well, so it's not like you have to do extra years. There are hundreds on offer. There are so many. Apprenticeships are huge, and they're just getting more and more, so they're really, really popular. The qualification you get is recognised across all employers in that industry as well, so some people have previously thought that, you know, it's only relevant for that one person they're working with, but no, if you were to get an accounting qualification, for example, you could then work in any accountants, you would just be the one who would trade it. They're designed by employers as well, so everything you're learning is really relevant for the world of work. So again, it can make you more employable. You've gained all that work experience through learning on the job, and then you can take that with you wherever you go. So it is a really, really good option. You do need to be over 16 and over to apply for them. And normally modern apprenticeships will look for 4 or 5 out of 5. That's the level that you go in at, and then you can work your way up to that advanced higher level. I'm not going to go over this again because you can't see it, but have a look on the SQA website, and then if you've got any questions regarding that, you can get in touch with me. Now, graduate apprenticeships are a lot newer than modern apprenticeships, so instead of being an alternative to college, these are an alternative to university. So with these go up to degree level, so honours degree level, like you would get if you went to university, but then you go further to masters as well. So SQF level 11 is the top level that you can study with a graduate apprenticeship. Very, very similar to modern apprenticeships, so 80% of your time is in the workplace, 20% of the time you go to university. So instead of college, like the modern apprenticeship, you go to uni. There are some exceptions. For example, with engineering, you would spend more time at university within the first year just because you need to get some of the basics before you could actually do the job. But from there on, you would be like 80-20 split. These are brilliant. So mainly offered within the cities because that's where the universities are, but there are local companies that are starting to, like CGI for example, they offer computing graduate apprenticeships. There have been a couple of leavers from JED who have gone on to do them. And they're really, you're in work, you're earning a decent amount of money as well. They normally start with about between 18 and 20 grand a year, and considering you're completely unqualified, it's a really good starting wage. And then each year it'll go up as you get more qualified until you're fully qualified, you've got your degree, you've graduated, and you get the full-time salary as anybody else that's qualified in that role. A massive bonus of this is that you're getting all the skills and the experience while you're studying. So if you're at uni, you're working really hard, you might have a part-time job, it might not be relevant for what you're going into, but you just need to make do because you've got a million bills to pay. But with this, you're paid. So you've got all that money coming in, you're learning on the job, you're gaining the experience, and then you've got the skills as well. You also get all the perks of a uni student, so you get your student discount, you get access to all the facilities at university. So everything's there, like you were a full-time student, it's just you're not there full time. There was a study that was carried out that showed that 72% of Scottish employers think that applicants lack technical, practical, or job-specific skills. And this is common. You often hear people going to uni and then they come out and can't do the job, and you know all the theory, but the practical element isn't there. This fills that gap. So it is a really, really popular choice. Again, if you would like to have a chat about it, you can just let me know and I can talk to you or your child, whichever, or both together. That's what I like to do. As these are fairly new, there's 12 frameworks on offer at the minute, so there's a lot less than there is for modern apprenticeships, but these are the ones that are on offer. So mainly within computing, we've got accounting, business, and then like engineering. So these are these are the ones that are on offer at the minute, but they will definitely increase because they're so popular. Okay. So if you've got a child that's interested in one of these areas, I would 100% consider a graduate apprenticeship. The other thing as well, just to add, is that there is progression from a modern to a graduate apprenticeship. So say your young person went into like cyber security, for example. They could do a modern apprenticeship in cyber security, and the employer, if they were able to, would then be able to get them, ask them if they want to do a graduate, and they could top it up to degree level. So there's that progression through as well. So somebody leaving in S4, say, with some NAT 5s, they might have traditionally gone to college and then gone to uni, if that was their idea, if that was their plan. Whereas now what they can do is do a modern apprenticeship and then extend that up to graduate, end up with their degree at the end. So there's that progression there too. This is the website where you would search for all apprenticeships. Now on the leaflet that I've handed out, there's a website, this website's on the back, so it's apprenticeships.scot. All information on apprenticeships is on there, so looking at everything I've discussed today, but also looking for vacancies. So you can see in the top, you can put in a keyword, which would be your type of apprenticeship, or you can put your location, so you can put Jedburgh or wherever you're willing to travel to. For graduate, I would say if you're wanting Edinburgh, Glasgow, wherever you preferably want to be searching, but you can also check the orders that might be like the CGI, for example. But yeah, this is where all vacancies for modern and graduate apprenticeships are advertised. And foundation apprenticeships, that I was talking about at the start, which you do in school, the information's on there as well, so you can see what's provided. Just quickly, just to raise to you as well, so My World of Work is the careers website that Skills Development in Scotland have. So I use this with pupils in school, but there is the parents section, so this is the home page, and if you scroll down you'll see the parents and carers section there. So there's information on how you can help your child when they're making career decisions, and just how to have those conversations as well, if you feel like you'd like some support. So that's all within there too. And finally, just a bit of information, so all the pupils in here will be aware of this, but I'm in school every Monday and Tuesday in the regular reception, and if you guys would like to have an appointment with me and would like to have a chat, then you can just drop me an email, so it's kim.ferguson@sds.uk, and I can just drop an email back and we can get a meeting arranged. More than happy to do it with yourselves or with your child as well, whichever suits you best. Okay? And that can be, I attend parents' evenings as well, so I am available then, but if you want something out of those times, then yeah, just get it. That's me. Thank you.